All right, Karina baby, for the 23rd, let's see what we got. We got the missing stripes. Let's take a look. Look at that tiger there. Dr. Dog and Nurse Kitty are out visiting some patients today. First, they visit Nigel Worm. Please come out of your hole, says Dr. Dog. I can't, says Nigel. I'm stuck. So Dr. Dog and Nurse Kitty pull him out, and after a few squirms, Nigel feels much better. After that, they go see Stripey Tiger. He says he has lost some stripes. Dr. Dog examines him carefully. One side is very stripy, the other side is not. Dear me, says Dr. Dog, I wonder where your stripes have gone. Then Nurse Kitty notices a mud patch where Stripey Tiger had been lying. She opens her first aid box and takes out a hairbrush. I think I know where your stripes have gone, said Nurse Kitty. She gave Stripey Tiger's coat a good brush, and there are some stripes underneath all the mud. Your missing stripes were there all the time, laughed Dr. Dog and Nurse Kitty, and they hurry off to visit other patients. Look at how Dr. Dog and Nurse Kitty are helping Stripey Tiger. They found his stripes underneath all that mud. All right, let's look at Raggedy Andy's stories. Let's take a look at Raggedy Andy. Raggedy Andy is in the trousers, and Raggedy Ann, I believe, is in the dress. So let's take a look and see if that's right. Raggedy Andy's smile. Raggedy Andy's smile was gone. Not entirely, but enough so that it made his face seem one-sided. If one viewed Raggedy Andy from left side, one could see his smile. But if one looked at Raggedy Andy from the right side, one could not see his smile. So Raggedy Andy's smile was gone. It really was not Raggedy Andy's fault. He felt just as happy and sunny as ever, and perhaps would not have known the difference, but not the other dolls told him. He had only one half of his cheery smile left. Nor was it Marcella's fault. How was she to know that Dickie would feed Raggedy Andy orange juice and take off most of his smile? Oh, look at Raggedy Andy. See, he does only have half a smile. See it right there? His other half is missing. So he has a half smile. And besides, taking off one half of Raggedy Andy's smile, the orange juice just left a great brown stain upon his face. Marcella was very sorry when she saw what Dickie had done. Dickie would have been sorry too if he had been more than 2 years old. But when one is only 2 years old, he has very few sorrows. Dickie's only sorrow was that Raggedy Andy was taken from him, and he could not feed Raggedy Andy more orange juice. Marcella kissed Raggedy Andy more than she did the rest of the dolls that night, when she put them to bed, and then made all the dolls very happy. It always gave them great pleasure when any of their number was hugged and kissed, for there was not a selfish doll among them. Marcella hung up a tiny stocking for each of the dolls, and pulled a tiny little china dish for each of the penny dolls, besides their little spool box beds. For as you probably have guessed, it was Christmas Eve, and Marcella was in hopes Santa Claus would see the tiny stockings and place something in them for each of the dollies. Then, when the house was very quiet and the French doll told Raggedy Andy that most of his smile was gone, "Indeed," said Raggedy Andy, "I can still feel it. It must be there." "Oh, but it really is gone," Uncle Clem said. "It was the orange juice." "Well, I still feel just as happy," said Raggedy Andy. "So let's have a jolly game of some sort. What shall it be? Perhaps we had the best try to wash your face." She to wash your face, said Raggedy Ann. She always acted as a mother for the other dolls when they were gone. It was not do a bit of good, the French doll told Raggedy Ann, for I remember I had orange juice spilled upon my nice white frock. I had one time, and the stain would never come out. Oh, that is too bad, Henry, the Dutch doll, said. Well, we shall miss Raggedy Andy's cheery smile when it is looking straight up at us. You will have to stand on my right side, when you wish me to smile, said Raggedy Andy, with a cheery little chuckle way down in his soft cotton insides. But I wish everyone to understand, he went on, that I am smiling just the same, whether you can see it or not. And with Raggedy Andy's caught hold of Uncle Clem and Henry, and made a dash for the nursery door, followed by all the other dolls, Raggedy Andy instead jumped down the stairs, head over heels, for he knew that neither he, Uncle Clem, or Henry would break anything by jumping down the stairs. But just as they got almost to the door, they dropped to the floor in a heap, for there standing, watching the whole performance, was a man. All the dolls fell in different attitudes, for it would never do for them to let a real person see that they could act and talk just like real people. Raggedy Andy, Uncle Clem, and Henry stopped so suddenly they fell over each other, and Raggedy Andy, being in the lead and pulling the door two sides, the other door, too, slid right through the door and stopped at the feet of the man. A cheery laugh greeted this, and that chubby hand reached down to pick up Raggedy Andy and turned him over. Raggedy Andy looked up into the cheery little round face with the little red nose, red cheeks, and all framed in white whiskers, which looked just like snow. Then the little round man walked into the nursery and picked up all the dolls and looked at them. He made no noise when he walked, and this was why he had taken the dolls by surprise at the head of the stairs. The little man with the snow-white whiskers placed all the dolls in a row, and from the little case in his pocket he took a tiny bottle and a little brush. He dropped the little brush in the tiny bottle and touched all the dolls' faces with it. He had purposely saved Raggedy Andy's face until the last. Then, as the dolls watched the cheery little white-whiskered man touch Raggedy Andy's face with the magic liquid, all the orange juice stain disappeared, and in its place came Raggedy Andy's rosy cheeks and cheery smile. And turning Raggedy Andy so that he could face all the other dolls, the cheery little man showed him that all the other dolls had new rosy cheeks and newly painted faces. They all looked just like new dolls. Even Suzanne's cracked head had been made whole. Henry and the Dutch dolls were so surprised he fell over backwards and said, "Squeak." When the cheery little man with the white whiskers heard this, he picked Henry up and touched him with the paintbrush in the center of the back, just above the place where Henry had his little mechanism which made him say, "Mama, Mama," when he was new. And when the little man touched Henry and tapped him forward and backwards, Henry was just as good as new and said, "Mama," very prettily. Then the little man put something in each of the tiny doll stockings and something in each of the little china plates for the two penny dolls. Then, as quickly as he had entered, left merrily turning at the door and shaking his finger at the dolls in a cheery, mischievous manner. Raggedy Andy heard him chuckling to himself as he went down the stairs. Raggedy Andy tiptoed to the door and over to the head of the stairs. Then he motioned for the other dolls to come. There, from the head of the stairs, they watched the cheery little white-whiskered man take pretty things from a large sack and place them about the chimney place. He does not know that we are watching him, the dolls all thought. But when the little man had finished his task, he turned quickly and laughed right up at the dolls, for he had known that they were watching him all the time. Then, again shaking his finger at his own cheery manner, the little white-whiskered man swung the sack to his shoulder, and with a whistle, such as a wand makes when it plays through the clicks of the window, he had gone up the chimney. The dolls were very quiet and all walked back to the nursery and sat down to think it all over. As they sat there thinking, they heard out in the night, twinkle, 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 the sleigh bells growing fainter and fainter as they disappeared into the distance. Without a word, but filled with a happy wonder, the dolls climbed into the beds, just as Marisol had left them, and pulled up the covers up to their chins. And Raggedy Andy lay there, his little shoe buttoned eyes looking straight towards the ceiling and smiling a joyful smile. Not a half smile this time, but a full smile. Oh, that's the end. That's it. Alright, there's Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy and another dolly. Oh, Karina, baby, I love you so much and I miss you. Let's do We Sit and Watch the Rain as it falls from the sky, and we are glad to be inside where it is warm and dry. Oh yes, I do love the rain. It keeps the earth so clean and helps the pretty flowers grow from the mountains to the streams. Karina, baby, I love you and I miss you and I can't wait to see you. Everything's on hold for right now, but things will come out very soon, without a doubt. You just have to be patient. I have to be patient. And count your blessings every single day. Check in with yourself every single day. Ask yourself, how am I doing today? And if you're not okay that day, it's okay not to be okay that day. It's okay to be like, well, things aren't okay today, but it's okay to be content in every situation that you're in, no matter what. Count your blessings. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your stomach. You have so many blessings to be grateful for. I know you do. I know you do. You have so many blessings, and just keep counting your blessings, keep praying, keep being who you just are. I love you so much, no matter what. I will always love you. I hope you're having a good day today, and I hope that you're enjoying everything that you're doing, baby. I love you.